Spurs are going down is one of the biggest clubs in English football, a brand new stadium. Some of the highest ticket prices in the Premier League, and right now they are 1 point above the relegation zone. Let that sink in.
I'm very sad, I'm very angry, I'm everything. Where is the goal of this club?
What's the club's objective? I mean, at the start of the year they sort of said compete on all fronts. Well, the club hasn't competed on all fronts for a very long time.
Tottenham story is this: 20 years that there is the owner and never won something. But why? Only for the fault is only for the club or for every manager that stay here? And I have seen the manager that Tottenham had on the bench.
I hope the Tottenham fans don't get me wrong, but the only club in my career where I don't have still a deep feeling.
You're watching Time Grid. Today we're breaking down the full story of how Tottenham Hotspur ended up in a genuine relegation fight and whether they can actually survive it. If you enjoy honest football analysis, hit subscribe. We cover stories like this every week, right? Let's put this into perspective because this is not just a meme.
Tottenham Hotspur are gonna be in the
This is real. Tottenham Hotspur, a club that has spent decades in the top flight of English football. The last time they were relegated from the top division was back in 1977, nearly 50 years ago. That's how long they've been part of the Premier League and its predecessor without dropping down.
Are we going to go down? Because he's shown nothing. The players don't care enough. He's like a school teacher, a substitute teacher who comes in and you go, I'll coast through this lesson today because...
And yet, here we are, March 2026, and Spurs are sitting in 16th place with just 29 points from 29 games. One single point separates them from the bottom three. 1 point from the drop zone. The Spurs are going down trend has exploded across YouTube, social media, fan channels everywhere. And the reason it's viral isn't just rival banter. It's because the danger is absolutely real. Here's the catch though. This didn't happen overnight. This crisis has been building for a long time. And to understand where Tottenham are right now, you need to understand how they got here. How Tottenham's season completely fell apart. Let's start from the beginning of this season because the context here is actually wild. Tottenham ended last season in 17th place in the Premier League. 17th. That is already a deeply uncomfortable finish for a club of their size and budget. But at the same time, they won the Europa League. So the season ended with a trophy which papered over a lot of cracks that were very clearly there. Coming into 2025 to 2026, there was hope. New momentum, European trophy in the cabinet. But the Premier League form never improved. The wins weren't coming. The performances were inconsistent at best and completely disorganized at worst. The club made a managerial change, brought in Thomas Frank, who had done impressive work at Brentford, but reports suggest the turnaround never came. The performances didn't improve quickly enough, and in February 2026, Frank was sacked after a poor run of results. And the scary part is sacking the manager didn't fix anything. Interim coach Igor Tudor came in and according to reports, lost his first 3 matches in charge. So the panic didn't slow down. It got louder. 11 league games without a win. That's where Tottenham are right now. 11 games. In a run like that, confidence disappears. Individual mistakes multiply, and the whole team starts to look like it doesn't know what it's doing. The numbers that tell the real story, let's look at what the table is actually telling us, because the numbers are brutal. 29 games played, 7 wins, 8 draws, 14 losses, 29 points. Goal difference of -7, meaning they've conceded 7 more goals than they've scored across the whole season. For comparison, look at the teams around them. Nottingham Forest are 17th with 28 points. West Ham are 18th also with 28 points. 1 point. That is all that stands between Tottenham and the bottom 3 right now. But here's what most people miss. It's not just about where you are in March. It's about form and momentum going into the final stretch of the season. And Tottenham's form right now is as bad as it gets. 11 games without a win means they are not picking up points. They are drifting closer to the drop zone, not away from it. And the fixtures coming up are not kind. Reports suggest their next big Premier League test is away at Liverpool on March 15th, a match they desperately need points from against one of the form teams in the country. Why a club this big can actually go down now, a lot of people online are treating this as a joke. And yes, part of it is football banter. But the history of English football tells us very clearly no club is too big to go down. Remember what happened to Leeds United? Massive club, huge fan base. Relegated in 2004 and spent years in the Championship. Remember Sunderland? Newcastle went down once too. Even massive clubs fall when the structures behind them are not right. And the structure behind Tottenham right now does not look right. Reports suggest the squad has been dealing with injuries and suspensions at key moments. The team has had no clear identity, no consistent style of play that the players are all buying into. 2 different managers in one season is already a sign that something deeper is broken. What if Tottenham had kept their best players together and built a stable system over 2 or 3 years? They might be in a completely different position, but that's not what happened. Instead, the club kept making short-term decisions, and now they're paying for it in the most dangerous way possible. And wait till you hear this, the last time Tottenham were actually relegated was 1977. That's nearly 50 years of continuous top-flight football. If they go down this season, it would be the end of one of the longest unbroken runs in Premier League history. That's why this story is so massive. It's not just a bad season, it would be a historic fall. The tactical problem why they can't stop conceding. Here's the tactical side of the problem, and it's important to understand this if you want to see whether they can survive. Tottenham's biggest issue this season has been defensive organisation. They've been conceding goals at moments when the game should be under control. Set pieces, counter-attacks, basic defensive errors. The kind of mistakes that teams in the top half of the table simply don't make at the same rate. When a team is low on confidence, defending becomes even harder. Players hesitate. Communication breaks down. And the moment an opponent puts them under pressure, the whole defensive shape collapses. What if Tudor can organize them defensively and make them hard to beat first before worrying about attacking? That's plan A for any team in a relegation fight. Stop losing. Get some clean sheets. Build some belief. But plan B, which is trying to outscore opponents and attack your way out of trouble, is very risky for a team without a settled striker partnership and no consistent creative player in form. You need defensive solidity first. Right now, Tottenham don't have it consistently enough. Right quick reset. Here's where we are. Tottenham are 16th in the Premier League, 1 point above the relegation zone. 11 games without a win. 2 managers already this season. And their next big test is a brutal away fixture. The crisis is real, not just a meme. Now here's the final piece of the question that matters more than anything else. Can Tottenham actually survive? And what does it mean for the club if they don't? Can they survive? The scenarios, let's be honest about what survival looks like because it's not impossible. There are 9 games left in the Premier League season. 27 points still available. Tottenham have enough quality in their squad on paper to go on a run. They've done it before in their history. The teams directly below them, Nottingham Forest and West Ham, are also in terrible form. So this is not a situation where Spurs are chasing impossible targets. The points are there to be won. But here's the catch. Every team around them is fighting just as hard to survive. Forest, West Ham, Burnley, Wolves. They all want those same points. And in a relegation battle, form, fitness, and nerve decide everything. If Tottenham can get one good result, one win, that breaks the 11-game losing streak, the whole atmosphere changes. Belief comes back. The crowd gets behind them. Players start performing. But if they lose to Liverpool and then drop more points in the games after that, the gap between them and safety could start growing. And at that point, the situation becomes genuinely critical with only a handful of games remaining. The key battles in their run-in will come down to 3 things: goalkeeper confidence and shot stopping when they need it most. The midfield being able to control games and not just chase them, and the striker converting the few chances that a struggling team creates. In relegation battles, those 3 roles decide everything. What relegation would actually mean for Tottenham, let's talk about the consequences because this is bigger than just football. Relegation from the Premier League means a massive drop in revenue. Television money, commercial deals, sponsorships, they all shrink dramatically when you move to the Championship. For a club with Tottenham's wage bill and financial commitments, that creates serious problems very quickly. Top players leave. The best players in the squad, the ones with ambition and options, almost always push for moves when a big club gets relegated. That makes rebuilding even harder. You go down with a strong squad and come back up with a weaker one. And then there's the stadium. Tottenham built one of the most impressive stadiums in world football in recent years. That stadium costs money to run. Relegation creates financial pressure at exactly the wrong moment. Reports suggest that Tottenham ownership and board are very much aware of how serious this situation is. The decisions they make in the next few weeks on the manager, on training, on squad morale could define the club for the next 5 to 10 years. Alright, let's bring it all together. Takeaway 1, this is not just a meme. Tottenham are genuinely in a relegation battle. 1 point above the bottom 3 with 9 games left and 11 games without a win. The danger is absolutely real. Takeaway 2, the crisis didn't happen overnight. Poor decisions over time, 2 managers in 1 season, no clear tactical identity, defensive collapses at crucial moments. This has been building for a while. The Europa League trophy last season hid problems that have now become impossible to ignore. Takeaway 3, survival is still possible. The teams around them are in poor form too. 9 games means 27 points available. 1 good result could change the whole mood around the club, but they need it soon because time is running out fast. On screen, can Spurs survive? 9 games to answer that question. Is Tottenham going down? Not yet. But they are closer to that reality than they have been in nearly 50 years. And the next few weeks will tell us whether this is a club that finds a way to survive or whether we're about to witness one of the most shocking relegations in Premier League history. So here's my question for you. Do you think Tottenham can survive the drop? Or is it already too late? Drop your prediction in the comments. I want to know what you think. And if you found this breakdown useful, genuinely helps this channel reach more football fans. It takes 1 second and it means everything. This is Time Grid. See you in the next one.